An Incomplete History of Spiritualism in the Midwest, Harmonia and Chesterfield. What spiritualism is. Spiritualism isn't a catch-all term for anything spiritual. It is a particular combination of two beliefs. The belief that spirits continue to exist and maintain awareness after departing their physical bodies, and the belief that they are capable of being communicated with by the living. The Second Great Awakening. A revival of religious fervor known as the Second Great Awakening took place in the United States in the early 19th century. From the manifestation of the Second Great Awakening in upstate New York came many new religious movements, including Millerism, Mormonism, Shakers, and the Oneida Community. The birth of Spiritualism. Upstate New York was also the birthplace of Spiritualism. On March 31, 1848, the Fox sisters, Kate and Margaret of Hydesville, New York, reported that they had made contact with the spirit that was later claimed to be of a murdered peddler whose body was found in the house. The spirit was said to have communicated through rapping noises, audible to onlookers. They became famous, performing seances in front of hundreds in halls all across New York State. Proliferation. In the years following the sensation that greeted the Fox sisters, demonstrations of mediumship proved to be a profitable venture and became popular forms of entertainment not only in the United States but also in Europe and Latin America. Another catalyst for the proliferation would be the massive loss of life in the Civil and First World Wars, as well as the Spanish flu. Harmonia and Chesterfield. There were many churches and camps spread across, particularly the Northeast and Midwest, but most have been lost to time. Two with substantial records of their existence are Harmonia in Michigan and Camp Chesterfield in Indiana. Harmonia. Harmonia was a utopian spiritualist community started by Battle Creek, Michigan Quakers that had converted to spiritualism. The land was bought by Quaker pioneer Reynolds Cornell in 1850 to convert it into an intentional community. After financial troubles and a tornado that swept through the area, the Cornells moved to Nebraska. Without the Cornells' financial backing, the property was sold to Methodist farmers in the mid-1860s. Harmonia then and now. All that remains is the Harmonia Cemetery overlooking the Fort Custer training facility where Harmonia used to be. In its heyday, it operated a seminary with over 100 students and was the temporary home of Sojourner Truth, a famous abolitionist. Her daughter Sylvia died and is buried in the cemetery. Camp Chesterfield. Camp Chesterfield in Chesterfield, Indiana is the home of the Indiana Association of Spiritualists. It was designated as such in 1891. It is a still active community hosting classes, seances of mediums, festivals, and retreats. In addition to being the home of spiritualism, they have many syncretic expressions of faith. I feel like I was supposed to write more there, but I forgot. Camp Chesterfield history. Dr. John Westerfield and his wife Mary, residents of Anderson, Indiana, lost their only child in 1855. Already hosting mystical speakers and mesmerists at their Union Hall in Anderson, they turned to mediums in their grief to contact their son. With other Indiana spiritualists, they visited a new spiritualist camp in Vicksburg, Michigan called Fraser's Grove. This experience inspired them to form the Indiana Association of Spiritualists and to create a camp closer to home. Camp Chesterfield was born in 1891. Scandals and the modern-day spiritualist church. Although still active 120 years later, the community has not been without its fair share of scandals. M. Lamar King, a former medium in Chesterfield in Florida, in his book Psychic Mafia, recounts defrauding the bereaved by claiming to speak to their departed loved ones. This is one of a variety of scandals that have rocked the camp over the years. With so many cases of fraud coming to light in the spiritualist church, numbers dwindled. Despite that, this church continues to exist, albeit smaller. The modern-day spiritualist movement is characterized by a more syncretic nature, adopting many Eastern and Christian beliefs. Showmanship and physical expressions of spirits are virtually non-existent. Churches are often linked by parent organizations with formal creeds, such as the National Spiritualist Association of Churches in the U.S. or the Spiritualist National Union in the UK.